Guess who's back? Back again. Not familiar with the song?
I am just trying to remember who it's by.
Eminem.
Oh,
You don't remember that song? I think
it doesn't
it's.
just
I don't know.
fresh to mind.
Is it called Guess Who's Back? I forget.
I don't. I
You don't know.
I really don't. I don't
That's
know
okay.
a whole lot of
It's
Eminem
not.
songs.
It's not that important anyway. So.
I just remember being at camp though, and the girl that you had a dorm with, she would insisted every single night playing the entire CD for that. And I couldn't go to sleep, so I'd have to sit in the bathroom and read. Jason, yo! Ivan, yo!
That sounds like torture.
Yeah, it was not fun.
Not that I don't like Eminem. I like him a lot, but
We eventually
you have to listen to this album.
Well, we eventually ended up changing rooms because she was a diabolical little girl, and she would take all my stuff and like throw it all over the room.
Did she have a Bride of Chucky doll that she brought with her?
I don't remember, but
See to Chucky or anything like that?
she got to be really good friends with these two girls, and then the night, our last day there, she outed them for sneaking out.
Were they plotters and schemers? Would they pull stupid stunts like putting saran wrap on the toilet bowl or putting some super glue on the lid so you get stuck? No, nothing like
Not
that.
no. No, I think she just planned the whole thing because they were planning on doing this sneak out to the beach thing on our last night there. I think she just sat there and waited and was friends with them and then like told on them like as they were out. It was kind of mean.
You went to camp.
I did.
I've never been anything like that. That's quite funny.
Hey, Mark, yo. Jason
What's
has a
up?
quick question.
Ivan Romos, what's going on? Jason?
He has a quick question, says it can be a quick answer. Uproar!
The difference between puff base and puff additive. We will get to you. We'll get to that here in a moment. Let's give a few people a moment to tune in, and then we'll answer that question. How's that
Yeah, we
sound?
have something to start with. Hey, Sundry.
I feel like my chair is getting squeakier and squeakier.
Well,
The old $65 IKEA chairs.
that the kids climb all over.
Yeah, it's starting to need to take a little oil to it. Some of the WD-40. What's up, Sundry Customs? So if you guys are just tuning in, or if you're new here and tuning in for the first time, we're gonna hang out here for just a couple minutes, and then I'll flip this screen over, and I'm gonna try and wake Shannon up. Shannon's not feeling quite as lively.
I've lost some of my pep for the day.
It's been a long. Last week was long. The weekend was long, and had a lot of fun yesterday.
Okay, hold on.
However, very exhausting.
Yeah. Sorry, Jason. Jason! Ivan, we'll get to your question once we get started after we do Jason's.
But yeah, we'll get to that question as well, Ivan. Just hold on for one moment, a couple more minutes, or another minute, and we'll get right to those questions.
All right, Mark, got yours too. We
Yo,
already got questions lining up.
yo.
I
Hey,
really
Shannon,
didn't think that was going to be a thing.
What's that?
I really didn't think that was actually going to start being a thing.
Everybody saying yo,
Yeah.
dropping in and saying yo.
Yo!
I see it all over the place. It was like yo. I think you started something, Shannon. You brought yo back.
How
People are gonna get those.
an accomplishment of my life.
They're gonna start getting those little Toyota pickup trucks and then block out the TO and is it the TA? So that way it's just yo on the back. Did you ever see that?
Huh.
In the 90s? Those little Toyota pickup trucks, and then they would paint out or they would just paint the yo on the back of the pickup, like on the tailgate.
I never saw that.
You never saw that?
No.
That's terrible.
Today I learned that's a thing.
It definitely was a thing. I can't say it was the coolest thing ever, but it was definitely a thing there for a while. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and switch this over, and then we'll answer some of your questions. Isn't that right, Shanny?
Jason's apparently renamed as Yo Shan TV Raps.
Yo, Shan.
All right, let's get started.
Yes, let's get started. Hey guys, what's up? Matt with Mikey Designs, Shannon the shop gnome,
Yo!
over there across the room, which she is never on camera. She has been on one video, but we're still working on that, aren't we, everybody? Regular viewers, you know what I'm talking about. Shannon doesn't like the fact that I even brought that up. She's just looking at me. You know, it's gonna happen just as soon as the monetization starts paying off for the YouTube channel to be able to purchase one of those. Gonna get one.
All right. Sounds good.
Moving on, says Shannon.
Yep. Okay, Jason's question first. He was asking about the difference between a puff base and a puff additive.
A puff base and a puff additive. I'm gonna be honest. I know the additive is just, it's a powder that you add into your ink, and the base, I don't know if that's just, I really haven't worked with puff a whole lot. Don't really get a whole lot of requests. We had one of our clients asking about it, and I wish I could be more help, but I'm not sure what the base is. I imagine you probably print the puff base down, and then you put your color on top, almost like you were printing. Let's say you're doing something on a dark shirt, you want to do red, you put your white base down with your red. I could be absolutely wrong. So if anyone out there that's tuning in knows what the puff base is, I know what the additive is, I just don't know what the base is. So sorry I can't be more help with that. That's something we haven't dealt with too much. So I don't think I've dealt with any of it since Shannon's even been part of it.
Nope, I've never seen it.
I've seen some pretty cool stuff done with puff, like mountain ranges and whatnot. Some really cool stuff, but wish I could be more help. I was like, hold on, let me Google that real quick, but I don't know. I really don't know what the base is. That's all I can think of.
I don't know why you're looking at me for confirmation. Sure.
Because I get all my information from Shannon the shop gnome over here. All the expertise that I share.
Oh yeah.
She's over on the other side texting me.
Feeding you the answers.
She is.
Okay, so
she should be beating me to the answer. Over there looking it up on the keyboard. Go ahead,
so that's
Shannon.
good. That's a new job. All right, cool. I'll remember that. Ivan wants to know
cool.
if we have a video on how to choke it. Oh, thank you. If we have a video to choke an underbase, he does a path offset.
Yeah, we actually there is. I forget what it's called. I think it is how to trap your underbase or choke your.
Chief lots.
Go to our channel and go to the little search bar. Click on videos and search bar. I know I did one. I just can't think of how I titled it. Let me see if I can go back and give you the exact title, because I'm drawing a blank at this very moment as to what I titled it. I tell you what, so that way we're not just sitting here. I'll leave it in the comment once we're finished doing this little segment, but we do have one.
Okay, so Mark had a question. If I can go back and find it.
Is it being loaded up with a bunch of comments?
Yeah,
bunch of stuff going on?
They're all putting some input in on some of the things that people are saying. Mark has a question here. Glow-in-the-dark ink with multiple colors that glow. What's the thought on it?
Um, the thought on it is, I've actually had a client request this at one point, and I looked around, and all I could find was just your traditional green. The way I ended up handling that was, trying to think how we ended up just kind of handling that, because they wanted it to be glow in different colors. You're not going to find, at least to my knowledge, that was about 4 years ago when I did that, and I asked every single vendor that I could, and just nobody had it. I know there is a company out there that does make the glow additive, like the powder that you can put in, that's the different colors that will glow different colors, but it's really expensive. I guess it just depends on how many shirts you're running off and if they're willing to pay for that powder that you can put into your ink. And it wasn't necessarily developed for screen printing ink, but I imagine it'll work just fine. So what I ended up doing with that particular design was, um, I printed it on top of the other colors. The only issue with that is it's gonna dim down your other colors. It's gonna make them, because that glow additive, or that glow ink is, it's kind of a milky color, and so I don't know. Personally, I would try and perhaps convince them to do it just as that one color glow, and just have some sort of cool design. Let me see if I can't find. I might be. It was some time ago, but I definitely tried it multiple ways. I forget what we ended up doing as the final product, because it was a bear with a bunch of little bear claws, and they wanted every single one of those a different color. I know I did make it was a 6 color job, and I ended up using,
Rybeat,
um,
Sunny, hey.
ended up using so it was 6 colors, and then neon colors. I used neon colors for every single one of them, and geez, the internet's being slow right now. But I'll try and find that here in a moment.
Well,
It's just being really slow right now.
Uproar says that Total Ink Solution has different glow in the dark colors.
Really, I would like to check that out.
Me too.
It must be something new, or at least I couldn't find anybody at the time.
Okay.
So yeah, I would check them out. Who was that again, Shannon?
That was Mark.
No, but what was the name of the company?
Oh, Total Ink Solutions.
There you go. Check them out, because that's another one of those things that just doesn't come up too often. And generally, when here it is right here. Let me take a look and pull it up on screen. But this was a glow in the dark thing. So I think what I ended up doing, now that I'm looking at it, is all the green, the fluorescent green colors here. And I'll show you guys the desktop here real quick.
Jason says Total Ink has glitter glow ink.
Glitter glow ink. That's pretty amazing. We're gonna have to check some of that out and
I want
mess
to put that
around
on
with
one
it.
of our daughter's shirts.
But the text here was glow in the dark, and then all the little green paws. So it worked out, because it still looked like bear tracks all over the place when it did glow. The thing about that glow in the dark ink is it's kind of a milky white, and somewhat translucent. So you have to, depending on how bright you want it to glow, you have to flash print it. And in this job in particular, it was the white base, those neon colors that you're seeing, and then the glow ink was printed on top of it. So they initially wanted all these colors here to be the glow as you see it on the design, but at that point in time, I couldn't find a source for it. So we're gonna have to write that down as well and check that out because
Hi,
that'll be
noisy
helpful
teeth.
for us as well. So so yeah, I mean, we don't always have the answer to some of these things. We're learning just as much, even though what I do know is I feel like I'm really well at. I do good at fuck Mondays. I got the case of Shannon's got the case of the Mondays, and there hadn't been a whole lot of socializing going on today with Shannon being extra sleepy. So I'm kind of getting the wheels turning too.
He hasn't
But it,
had much to talk about today, so
I well, I've been on the road too. I was
yeah.
gone until about 4 p.m. and then I came in and got some other things done, like a nap.
Yep.
Oh, I was tired. This
Anyways,
this past weekend we were out in the shop printing 250 275 shirts. One of them was a 3-color front, 2-color back, and even before that, we had a bunch of shirts that we had to do. So we were here. We had Panda come in and help out as much as he possibly could, training him on how to load the shirts onto on the press straight. And we were out there from noon until about 8 o'clock out in the heat, printing just like go go go. We maybe took us a 30-minute break for lunch, couple 5, 10, 15-minute breaks here and there because it was really hot. And then we went to the beach and I tried to keep Shannon from drowning in the ocean. So I can say I'm exhausted.
yeah. Well, anyways, so Sundry is saying that he's having some issues with the angle of his squeegee. Sometimes it's too much and it floods the screen. Sometimes it's too little.
Okay, is that with what color print, or is that just all of them? So what I found out, it just depends on
And somebody named McGrounds is being a jerk.
retro. We'll have to look into that here in a second. So depending on what method you use, if you're doing a push print or pull, I do both. I generally do push on underbase or inks that are really thick. But I make sure with the manual press, I make sure I'm lining them up that way because there's some stencil drag towards where if you line everything up on push prints and then you happen to do a pull print on a screen you didn't line up that was meant to be a push print, then your print will be off. But for a push print, what I have found, the more straight up and down, more perpendicular you can get it, the more you're going to press through this screen with push pulling. Excuse me, push printing. And then as you get more of a 45 degree and more extreme, you're going to be putting less ink down because you're just kind of shearing it off, really. And then with pull printing, what I have found is the steeper of an angle it is, you're kind of pushing that ink through. So the more upright, you're kind of shearing it off a little more. At least that, from my experience, that's what I found. So just try playing around with that and perhaps get you a couple of your rag t-shirts and then see use those different angles and see what results you're getting, because I think a lot of it just varies between user. Because I've heard of people that when they do a push print, they feel like they're getting more ink if the angle is a little further down. So I don't know.
Jason was
That's
also talking
weird.
about 50% of the issue can be the pressure.
It can be pressure as well. But I just know for myself, I tend to stick to push printing, and the more I have it upright, and as I'm printing, it will deposit
Hi,
more ink.
Teo.
The more sharper of an angle, then it will be less really.
Okay.
So there you have it. That's at least from my experience.
Well, we've got somebody that's being a jerk, but I think he's probably gone by now.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me go back and take a look. What's going on here?
It's at the very, very bottom.
Hello, fellas.
No, that's not mean. He's not being mean. He's fine.
Hello, fellas. Shannon is not a man.
Yes, that's why I'm like, who
was it then?
It's the Mac Graham's guy. Why would you
Oh Lord, there's always somebody. What'd you say their name was?
Mac Graham's.
Mac Graham's. These tards can't even talk. These tards can't even talk right. The hell if I'm gonna watch them talk about making a shirt. Well, I tell you what, Matt Grams, you put on your own live show on a Monday, and if you can talk right on a Monday, given the situation, we can talk right. You know what? It's all right if you leave. See you later, dude. We
can talk correctly. We can talk correctly.
And we're not retarded. By the way, Shannon's got a doctorate, and I've got associates from the Art Institute. What you got, punk?
Okay, let's not start a war. Oh my God, I want to talk about screen printing.
Anyways, so that's out of the system now.
So are we going to be using this to make an announcement about the who we might be pairing up with?
Who we pairing up with? No, I think that, and you know who you are. I just want to have them on and then them talk about their experience and how they got into screen printing and what some of their future plans are, what kind of growth they're experiencing and all that. And I think that'll be cool. And I'd like to have as many people on as possible that are either in a situation where we were in the garage or just stepped into a shop, or even someone that's gone a little further. I think that'll be really cool and insightful for a lot of the people that do tune in. So, yeah, I'd rather just be like, "Wow."
Okay,
here's this this accomplished individual, and they're gonna share their story a little bit.
So, to sum it up, special surprise guest next week.
Yes, we will have a surprise guest on next week, next Monday, and I promise we'll have our shit together a little more. We're kind of dragging today, and it'll be cool. It'll be cool. We got to do a little bit of a test run because I haven't had someone on aside from Shannon. What she's in the room it's pretty easy because I just have to hook up another microphone. But having another person call in through Skype and have them live on air, we're gonna have to do a couple test runs just to make sure all the kinks are worked out. And I got to do a few little changes to the scenes on OBS, so that way we can have a little side by side with him tuning in, or not tuning in, but being part of the show. So yeah, it's gonna be really cool. I'm excited about that. It's gonna be awesome.
Rybeats is like, all right, Shanny will be on Skype. Anyway, speaking of Rybeats, because he just went boom boom pow, we got his shirts today.
We did, Rybeats. We appreciate that. And for all those that are waiting on your shirts, we're gonna get those out this week. We've been,
I know I promised that last
really
week.
Busy, but yeah, we.
Do you want to show them?
Well, I hadn't.
I figured you were just waiting.
I haven't opened it up just yet, but
I figured you were waiting until we got on the show.
Here we go. This is from Rybeats. He's got some pretty kick-ass writing there. Looks like the man is definitely more of an artist when it comes to writing stuff by hand. I couldn't write something that cool. But yeah, we appreciate that. What I planned on doing with this was a little bit of a unboxing video or opening video.
Well, Jason's demanding they be open now.
He wants it open now.
Yeah.
You know what? We could open it now. Do you want to open it now, Shannon?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do. I want my shirt. Damn it.
Okay, it's like Christmas.
Gimme.
I'll tell you what. We'll open it right now then, instead of doing a separate video, because I've got plenty other stuff that's waiting in key.
Yeah, we still got to do it.
Shannon, do you want to come over here and open it for us?
No, thank you.
Oh, why not?
Who do you think I am? The lady from the wheel thing, the game? Vanna White?
I thought she would just kind of mosey on over here and...
I'll mosey on over here.
Here. But yeah, we'll go ahead and open this up. Let me... actually need something to... Okay, so I'm going to try and open this with my keys. It's got a nice little seal here. And thanks again, Rybeats.
Yeah, for real.
Kind of curious as to where you got these boxes from. Did you get it from Uline by any chance? Or is that just something you got from the post office? Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, that's awesome. So he wrote us a personal little note here. I'll let Shannon read it.
No,
if I can get
that's
it on
ours.
camera. So I'll let Shannon read the note, and you can see he's got a bunch of cool little stuff in here. There's the Fresh Vibes apparel custom screen printing with his logo sticker. So I got a toolbox in the shop, and I'm gonna put that on the toolbox. I've kind of been collecting stickers, and
Why do you get to pick where it goes?
you know what? There's multiple stickers over here, Shannon. Here, there's also we got some Daily Grind, the Daily Grind. And if you haven't gone over and checked out Rybeats vlogs, they're really cool. I try to watch as many as I can, but also putting together videos and screen printing for a living, sometimes it's hard to. And then we've got a button. That's pretty awesome. Shannon, you're starting to get some buttons in. You have to figure out where you're going to put them on. I'm going to put them on your apron.
The apron I don't wear anymore. The apron that Panda has pretty much stolen from me and has completely smeared all this ink all over, so now it no longer looks like my shop apron. It just looks...
We got to print him an apron. I'm sorry. Yeah. You got to print him an apron. Oh, nice. Okay, so he sent us some T-shirts as well. Did some custom labeling. Let me show you the overall shot of the shirt.
We should be doing custom labeling.
Yeah, I mean, we do for clients, but not for ourselves. But there we go. That's a little bit better of a view. I don't have a light in front of my computer.
Here, give me your phone.
But that's really cool. And then there's some custom tags here. It looks like Rybeats, it looks like a heat press tag. And I'm curious about that because we haven't done, every one of our tags are the screen printed type, and this is traditionally what you would see in like a shirt like a Gildan or a Hanes, but that's really cool. If you guys can see that, I'm trying to, it's always backwards with the camera, my finger's in the way. So that's really cool. And we got ourselves a medium.
Don't you call that my size.
We got another size. It's extra small. Shannon, here's your extra small.
You're so rude.
Why? Okay, so thank you very much. And
yes, thank you, Rybeats.
I'm gonna have Shannon read out the personal note. Come on, you're great at that. You're much better at reading stuff like this on the fly. Like I'm the kind of person that when I do read stuff,
Rybeats,
it's like,
is it okay if we read the note? That's what I was more concerned about.
Yeah, sure. Why wouldn't it be? I would have put it on an unboxing video anyways, and well, I'm sure if you want to read it first, just to make sure he hadn't. I'm sure it's absolutely fine. He'll let us know. So Shannon's gonna read this over real quick. I think what it is, she's I think she's a little being a little camera shy about it, even though she's not on camera. All right, I'm gonna do a wardrobe change real quick.
It says Matt and Shani. Of course, it says Shani. As for the very first YouTube channel I started following in the screen printing world, I, as many others, want to say thank you for the videos and tutorials. Keep making those inspirational videos, Brian. Well, you're welcome and thank you. That was really sweet. That's very creative. I like how you put it on the box.
Yeah, that's
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I can't steal that from you because I don't think we're going to be using boxes, but but he got a homemade card too, so. And thank you. That's really sweet of you.
I'm back from my wardrobe change. I had to put my medium t-shirt on. Thanks, man. We really appreciate that, and I'll wear this shirt in some of the videos that I do, and so y'all go over and check Rybeats out. Look him up on YouTube. Go over, and if you haven't subscribed already, go subscribe to his channel. He does some really cool stuff, and not only does he do screen printing vlogs and tutorials and whatnot, he also does some DJ stuff as well. And to me, I'm very much interested in that stuff too. I know at one point Rybeats had mentioned that he was going to separate his channels, and I know over time it gets a little harder to do that because with the screen printing stuff, I had it all on my personal page, and I would post my music stuff, which I hadn't been doing a whole lot of that lately. I'm trying to, though. I'm writing some original material, and Panda, I'm going to try and force him to play drums in it. He might be a little too busy with some things coming up in his life that's changing. So we appreciate that. Okay. So one of the things we wanted to talk about today, which is obviously in the title, it's
hey, we're getting to it early.
Basically about charging what you're worth. One of the things that I see often with screen printers, new or some that are established, is they'll see somebody that is charging a really low price for X amount of shirts, and they ask, how do I compete with that? And you shouldn't compete with that, because really if someone, you do the math on it a lot of times, you're like, man, they're not making a whole lot per hour. And it's probably someone in their garage. They don't have their own shop, or they're new and they're just putting out these really low prices just to get clients. But that's not what you want to do, because you're going to attract those clients that will come back for those really cheap t-shirt prices. And then as you acquire more overhead, you're going to run into issues, because you're going to start losing a lot of your clients that were coming in for those really cheap prices. So my advice would be to, if you are just starting out, take a look at some of the other shops' prices. It's not ideal, but at least to get an idea of how much to charge, screen fees. Once you line up all your wholesale vendors and all that, just check out what their prices are, and then you could even ask some other screen printers. I know when I started out, I asked a bunch of questions, and then eventually we dialed in our prices towards where we're doing well enough to be here, and blessed enough to be here as well. So you don't want to be that guy that charges the cheap price because you figure you want to make, $18-$25 an hour, and you're not considering other things. You're not considering growth. What if a piece of equipment goes out? Like, you got to be making some profit, unless you're a non-profit organization.
Hey, Free Press.
I know for us, we we try to stick around the 30-40% profit margin, and we've acquired a piece of equipment here, piece of equipment there, just kind of stepping it out. I mean, really, the next thing would be to get an automatic, but that's such a huge investment. We're almost there, not quite ready, but we're gonna wait until we grow into something like that, and we're actually almost finished paying off a pretty hefty loan, which took uh, it should have taken us 14 months to pay off, but I think we're about 3 or 4 months away from paying it off, and so we'll be into it about 9 months before we pay it off, and it's a big loan. Like we got sick with the just looking at how big of a number it is, because essentially we got it through PayPal, and what they do is they base this loan off of your annual sales, and they say, okay, we'll give you X amount of dollars for a loan at taking 30% of your total sales, or there were all these tiers and everything, and we decided to do the biggest one so we could get into a shop, pay off the dryer, which I was doing a lease on, and then purchase a few other things so we can be happy with where we're at. And that's all taken care of, it's we'll see a lot of that start to profit just kind of hang out, and we can be able to save up for an automatic, but we're still kind of we'll grow into it gradually. Shannon, do you have anything to say about charging what you're worth?
Yeah. Also, there are a couple people are making some really good points on here, which I want to touch on afterwards. And something to keep in mind, guys, when you have those people that are just trying to haggle with you, trying to get their prices lowered, you got to honestly weigh your options and calculate how much more time you'd be spending with them, because they tend to be the ones that are, they need their hand held, and they need, they're going to be nitpicky, and they're going to be checking in, and they're just going to be forcing more of your time that you could be working.
I like this t-shirt. Sorry. I didn't mean to distract you.
And just basically calculate, like, especially when they're haggling you to a lower price, is it really going to be worth it when they're also taking up way more of your time? Just calculate that into whether or not it's even worth taking the job. And we've got Jason, Ryan, they have some good points. And Sundray said the t-shirt chick had the same discussion on her channel.
Oh, did she?
Mm-hmm. We haven't had time to look at anybody's channels lately, so we promise we're not copying. But Jason's saying that the people that say 50 shirts for $100, they're probably not going to be in business long. He heard a guy doing that, and now they're working at Walmart. And Rybeat says there's a place for that, like the low pricing. It's a place for that, like monthly specials, but lowballing pricing is going to depreciate the screen printing industry and the value of it. It's just hurting the industry, which I completely agree with as well.
Yeah, it does. It's hurting. So if you do start screen printing and you try and be one of those people that are charging really cheap prices, initially I did charge. I was charging. One of the things I missed that I wish I would have done differently was actually charging a screen fee. I was just like, oh, it's going to be an all-inclusive price thing. Which
Glad to hear it, Mike.
having a pricing calculator really helps with that.
I
So
hate the pricing
you
calculator.
don't have to have. Shannon hates it. It incorporated it, but also there was a lot of money that was missed out not charging for a screen fee. That's where it definitely will help balance things out, because I mean, it's not like you're really getting paid a profit for charging the screen fee. It's just your time and materials for doing it, and art fees as well. I know we talked about charging for art and all that. That was something where, like, I'm just going to not charge art fees. And there's still some clients where we will put together a design, but we do calculate into the price of whatever we're going to charge them and figure out how many hours. And sometimes one of the things I have a hard time figuring out is how much, not how much to charge, but how many hours I'm really going to put into it. So, yeah, that can be difficult to figure out pricing wise.
Something I'm learning is when you'll give an estimate about, like, you'll tell me how much you think it's going to, how long it's going
How
to take.
many hours? Yeah.
Part of me just, in my head, when I put the invoices together, I add an extra hour because it generally does take you that extra hour.
It does.
Like the one we had the video for that design for the race car.
For the race car, yeah,
We charged for 2 hours, and that was a 3-hour long video.
Yeah,
with
it
edits.
took 3.5. Although, yeah, even though I edited a bunch out, it took, and I don't know if that's just because I'm trying to do it on screen and trying to walk people through it. That might have taken me longer, but at the same time, sometimes you kind of hit a little bit of a roadblock designing things, and you have to kind of step back for a moment and think about it, kind of figure out something that's going to really jazz the design up, make it look really good. Because I could have done, and part of the problem too is I could have done those 2 hours and been like, here you go. She even said that she would be happy with whatever we put together, but also at the same time putting in that extra hour and a half and putting together something I'm happy with, she's going to be happy with, and then she's going to be wearing this t-shirt out around around other race teams, and they're going to see the shirt and say, wow, that's a pretty awesome design, that's a cool print and everything. Where'd you get the shirt from, who designed it? And
we already got some orders in from it.
Yeah. So there were some other orders that came in, particularly just because we put that design together. And I, like when I did my brother's design years ago, he showed it off, and there were jobs that came from that. That was a few years ago, so that buzz is kind of worn off, and he's not really racing these days. So with the level racing team, they're all over the place and do it. They have 4 cars, so if every one of the team members in different categories of this racing team are like, they see their shirts, they get curious as to who did it. But back to the pricing portion, did you have anything else to add to that, Shannon?
Well, okay. Something I've seen some vloggers do and show that they're doing, and you were doing it in the beginning as well. The drop-off deliveries.
Yes.
That, especially when you're living in Houston.
Yeah.
I came aboard, and I think I've talked about this before, and he's like, no, I have to go drop off these client shirts. I'm like, why? Well, because they're a good client, and these shirts are due. So they didn't pay for shipping? No, I'm going to go take them. Why? And like a lot of vloggers I've seen do that. Like they take them with them, like they video themselves like dropping it off and everything. And what we've discovered though, when I finally was like, why don't we just charge them for shipping? And we got into it.
And that, go ahead.
As we got into it though, we were able. It gave us so much more extra time to get more efficient with the output.
Right. And so when Shannon came into it, she saw me doing a lot of deliveries. And one of the things that, so was in Sugarland, moved to Kingwood because of just things changed in my personal life. In order for me to retain some clients and keep a relationship with them. I mean, some people just, they don't want to pay for shipping. They want to pay for delivery. There are a lot of clients that are cool with it, and we've talked to our current clients that are on the other side of town, and we still get phone calls from people that are out in the Sugarland area, and we're like, hey, we're going to charge a delivery, a shipping fee or delivery fee, whatever the case may be, and they're cool with it. Some of them might not be. There's some of the clients that we do have. We will, if whatever it takes to kind of make them happy, if we do need to drop them off. And it's really not even because it's we if they weren't our client. I'm trying to think of how to put this. There's sometimes clients that we do work for that it's not just about making a profit. It's really something that's impacting the community, and so we'll go that extra mile just to make sure that whatever it is we're doing for them, we make sure that happens. They get their shirts on time, because it's bigger than just us as a company and making a profit. I mean, we'll even charge a little less than we normally do, and part of that goes to the deliveries and whatnot. Because there's some of the clients that we do have that it's a great cause, and so I feel like sometimes it's justified, but it's not. That's not in every single client case, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've had a lot of people that instead of paying delivery fees are just more than happy to come grab them themselves, even if they're on the other side of town. And
Yeah.
Sundry has something when you're done.
Okay, so I'm going to wrap my portion of the charging what you're worth thing. We do know what our bottom line is if we're not making enough money off of a particular job, and they're like, hey, can you lower it down to this price with our and I think I'm going to do another video on this again, because I've changed it up a little bit as to how I use it. I've actually, before Shannon got super involved in it, the amount of shirts we've print now has increased, and also I've figured out how long it takes me to do a screen. Really have dialed in how long it takes to do a 1 color, 2, 3, all the way through 6 colors. How long it takes to do that. Get everything set up and pressed from the time the order comes in to setting everything up in our template, printing the film out, the time it takes to reclaim a screen, coat it, expose it, let it dry, set it up on press, print the shirts, box them up. Got that really dialed in, so I've changed the way that we do that a little bit, and we'll use it if we get an order in where we have our price sheet, and then we essentially take our garment costs and then double that, unless it's a really expensive shirt that, let's say maybe it's $10-15 or something, then we'll do 50% of that. So there's times when it's like, hey, can you lower the price? They might say so-and-so is doing it for, or we'll do it for X amount of dollars. I'm like, okay, let me get out the pricing calculator and make sure we're not in the red. We try to make sure with every single job we're at least getting a 30% profit, so that way we can live and keep our shop open and continue to grow our business, or at least, I'm actually happy with where it's at. If and I know it will continue to grow, but if it didn't grow any further than having a shop and a home, I would be happy with that. Wouldn't you, Shanny? Why are you looking at me?
Because I'm not going to respond if you call me Shanny. You know better,
Anyways,
sir.
so what is the what were we gonna say?
Okay, Sundry says so. So say something happens and it prolongs the print. Would you charge for that, or is that on you? Like your mid-print client calls, add more to the order, would you just charge for the shirts or shirts?
I'm
Rybeat says he charges.
I'm confused. Let me take a look at that question. Where was it at?
A little bit up.
A little bit further up.
A little bit further up.
Okay, Sundry Customs, right? So say something happens and it prolonged the print. Would you charge for that, or is it on you? Like you're in mid-print, client calls, add more to the order. Would you just charge for the shirts, or? Okay, so if we're in the middle of printing something and a client calls and it's holding the job up and it's holding us up production wise in general, yeah, we'll charge them, because we gotta get orders in and out. So if we're holding the press up, then that's an issue. Or we'll flat up tell them, no, it's too late. We're already on press. We have other orders we have to print.
You could make a separate order.
Yeah, you can place a separate order, and we'll charge you a reset up fee. You won't be charged the entire screen fee because we have the screen. So we charge $5. Right. We charge $5 for a reset up fee. So it's $5. And if there's times when we haven't gotten to the job just yet, and we can readjust their invoice and add whatever it is that they want to the order, that at that point it's not a problem. But if we're actually on press, there's no way, unless we will talk to them sometimes and say, hey, if you want these additional t-shirts while we're on press, we will call up TSC Apparel. You go and pick them up and bring them to our shop. And people have done that before.
I got a lady to stop it because she needed stuff on a Saturday. It was a one-day turnaround type thing, and it was a Saturday, and GSD wasn't open. So I was like, she's like, I really need this tote. I need this tote. I'm like, all right, so here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go to Hobby Lobby. You're gonna pick out Caesar vinyl in the color that you need.
Yeah.
You're gonna sit here. You're gonna wait while we get it done, and we're just gonna charge you a rush fee.
And she
still willing?
She was more than happy to do that too, because
it was called problem solving.
It was for her fiance. I believe it's her fiance, right?
Either that or husband.
Her husband, fiance, and
hey, Darlene.
It was a special event that they had going on. It's some sort of game thing that they had going on.
Oh yeah, that was the shirt, not the tote.
Yeah, it was the shirt, and so they had a event that night, and they're like, "Is there anything? Yeah, is there anything you can do to make this happen? I want one T-shirt, or was it two?
One.
Okay, so it was one T-shirt. We had the T-shirt, luckily in stock, so we generally don't keep things in stock. It's on a per order basis. And because it was one shirt, we did it with heat press vinyl. And she sent the artwork, set everything up, and just told her, I was like, we can't do it in yellow because we just don't have any yellow vinyl in stock. We keep our vinyl on hand based off of on a per order basis as well. We do have a bunch of vinyl that we have left over from jobs because we'll overestimate how much vinyl we do need, and so we'll keep that on hand. We always keep white on hand because that's the most common one. And we told her, hey, we just don't have any yellow in stock. But Shannon told her, like she was saying, we'll go and get.
No, we didn't go. I told her.
Or excuse me, not us, but you have to go and get
she could, if she's willing, she could drive over to a craft store and grab it herself and bring it. And by the way, I'm keeping the extra.
Yeah, and she was happy to do that.
And so I just played customer service and just shot the shit with her. while you got everything
She was
taken
cool.
care of. And
She was
very
really
cool.
cool. Yeah, she went the extra mile, not only for her fiance or husband. I'm pretty sure it was a fiance at that time, and we just all kind of worked together and made it happen.
It's problem solving, guys. And if
Yeah.
you can apply that to your customers, like when they're in a pinch, oh my God, they're so appreciative. That's where that's one of the kinds of things that really gets you good reviews instead of like all cranky ones. Because, generally, mostly people just report when they're cranky. But going above and beyond and trying to work with them, but still at the same time, being like, look, this is what we can do. This is what you'll need to do to put in the effort to get this happening. It still comes off like you're doing them a huge favor.
Oh yeah,
Which you are.
They'll be very much appreciative of it. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of weird, or I wouldn't say weird. It's just instances. I'm gonna get this talking thing down today eventually.
And we have 5 minutes left.
Why would I listen to these guys? They can't even talk.
You know why? Because we have personalities and we put a bunch of videos up that help each other out, and we're all, for the most
I
part.
didn't think you'd be as butthurt about this.
What a troll!
I really thought that you just forgotten about it. I've already forgotten about it.
If you don't like it, just go somewhere else.
Oh my God, it's like the gray hair and the beard thing. We're randomly out of nowhere, you just bring it up again.
Yeah, I don't know why. It just because I started going over to some of the comments over here, and then it's like that guy that I blocked. So that's the last time I was looking at the comments because you're keeping up with it, and so I'm trying to see what everybody else is saying
they're firing
about
guns
it.
at each other at this point. So
Yeah.
Okay. And Darlene has a question.
Okay, sure.
And
What is that
Mark.
question?
We are cool with a K. Darlene wants to know where we'll talk about the Udo machine.
Kewl. Sorry, go ahead. That's how I spell cool.
Do you guys? It's so freaking distracting. Would you? Shh. Shh. Shh.
Okay.
Just let me talk. Darlene wants you guys ever talk about the Udo machine. It's all I have now for screen printing. I bought it years ago and let it sit until I joined the t-shirt craze.
The what machine? Udo?
Mm-hmm.
Udo? No, I know what those are. That's the they have those really thin. It's like a kind of a dinky screen, and then it's a machine. It's kind of like a home. Like if you were to go to Michael's or Hobby Lobby or something like that, and they had a screen printing kit. That's what it is. Where it has. I can't remember if it's a emulsion sheet where you put it on there, or if it actually came with the scoop coater. I don't think it did. I think it was the sheets, and then you expose your screen. It has like a little unit. Like a little, it almost looks like a scanner.
Okay, they're saying they're going. What happened?
What happened
Did we
with
lose
what?
you?
Did we lose?
Maybe they're talking to Rye Bates. Go on.
Okay, so let me go back and double check. Okay, yes, something's going on here. I don't know. Let me take a look. I don't know what happened.
Uproar. They obviously heard me going.
Yeah, I don't know what. Hold on, let me take a look at. It's just red. Can you guys still hear us? Let us know in the chat if you can still hear us. Because I'm looking at OBS. I don't know why I upgraded the.
Jason said last he heard was, let me talk, and then gone. Oh, God, that's not a good place to end.
Oh, no.
Let me talk. Radio silence.
Yeah, it's in the red right now as far as streaming and all that.
Okay.
It might be our internet right now.
All right. Well, they said we're back.
Are we back? Can y'all hear us now?
So anyway,
yeah, I think it's the internet. Right before I got on, I updated the OBS, and I don't know what's going on. I might have to go back and look at my settings. So sometimes these things just don't always work. Video's bad. Okay, we're gonna fix that for next time, because it's either our internet service is really slow right now, or the update that I did to OBS is really screwing with things. And
For a second, I thought Jason insulted us because he said idea is bad. Then I realized it was a typo. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, what, Jason? Anyway,
Yeah.
so Darlene, did you ever get your question answered? Did you hear any of that?
No, I think it cut out before that. Okay, so it's saying
Video's crazy choppy.
Yeah, I apologize about that, guys. I don't know if it's our internet today being slow or what the deal is. Okay, so it went off. Yeah, it's cutting in and out right now. It's telling us our live stream is not in good health. Okay. Let's see.
What are you doing?
I'm looking
again.
at the health. Yeah, it's cutting in and out.
Yep, video output low. Uproar, you hush.
Hold on. I'm gonna do something. Okay. This might look cool.
And this is
I'm
our
doing the
live feed.
lawnmower.
This is our live feed.
I'm doing the lawnmower. So it's gonna cut in and out. Is it gonna cut in and out? Now I'm doing the weed eater. I'm gonna start it up. Shannon, give me some music going. I'm doing the weed eater. She's cutting them down. Okay, guys. So looks like it's starting to restore
And now
a little bit.
An ad.
Sorry about that, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna cut out because
Darlene, we'll
our
answer your question next
stream
time.
is cutting out. Darlene, if you can hear us, the Udo or whatever that system is called, I talked about it for a few minutes before things started getting weird, and I never used it. I went straight to just using your traditional screen printing supplies because that was more of a hobby type thing, and I was really looking into getting into screen printing seriously. So hopefully you can hear that. If not, we will answer it next time. And sorry things went awry, guys. That sucks. But whatever the case may be, I'll figure it out next time and get things up to speed, because it keeps going in the red over here. That's the first time this has happened to us, but it happens with these live streams. We're in the green, we're in the yellow, but we appreciate everyone that did tune in, and we'll figure out what's going on next time and have things ready to go. So
Especially with a new super surprise guest.
yeah. No, it'll be all sorted out. I think it's just a internet issue, or I don't know, maybe my computer needs to be restarted. But we appreciate everybody hanging out with us once again. And Shannon, if you want to do your little do you got something lined up and ready to go for your last words of wisdom?
Oh, okay. What did the gay cow say to the veterinarian?
Oh my God.
Moo! Because cows can't talk.
Well, that wraps it up, guys. Sorry the stream bogged down, but we'll figure it out next time. So y'all have a good evening, and we'll see you next Monday.
Bye, guys.